So here's a huge problem with AI governance. It often fails for one really simple reason. When something goes wrong, nobody actually knows who's responsible. In this explainer, we are going to break down accountability in the age of AI. We're talking who owns what, who decides what, and most importantly, how to get some absolute clarity on all of it.
Okay, let's just dive right in with the big question, the one that probably keeps a lot of leaders up at night. When an AI fails, who's responsible? I mean, who really carries the can? Is it the developer who wrote the code, the business unit that's using it, or maybe the vendor who sold you this shiny new tool? See, that confusion, that is the heart of the problem we're talking about today.
You know, for decades, things were pretty straightforward, right? We had a simple model. IT owned the tech, and the business owned the outcome. Easy. But AI? Well, AI just comes in and completely shatters that old way of thinking. It brings this whole new level of risk and automated decision-making that it doesn't fit into those neat little boxes anymore.
And that brings us to the new reality. AI absolutely needs a shared, structured approach to who owns what. Because without that, well, your AI projects can quickly become unmanaged, unmonitored, and frankly, unsafe. This is definitely not a set it and forget it kind of technology.
And right now, this is what it often looks like in practice. Pure chaos. When an AI messes up, the blame game starts. Fingers start pointing everywhere. To the developers, to the vendor, the business owner, the risk team, you name it. So let's be really clear about this. Unclear ownership equals unmanaged risk. It's truly that simple. And here's the kicker. This isn't something you can just let happen organically. Accountability for AI has to be designed intentionally right from the get-go. Okay, so how do we actually fix this mess? Well, the solution is surprisingly simple, and it's not super technical. It boils down to 4 key non-technical governance roles that can bring clarity to pretty much any organization out there.
And here they are: the Navigator, the Truth Keeper, the Architect, and the Orchestrator. Together, these 4 roles create a complete, airtight framework for accountability. So let's break down exactly what each one of them does.
First up, we have the Navigator. Think of this person as the captain of the ship, the senior leader who sets the destination. They're not down in the engine room building or testing the AI. Their job is to make those big strategic calls. And let me tell you, this role is absolutely fundamental. Without a navigator, your AI initiative is basically flying blind. So what are they actually doing? Well, the navigator is the one who approves the core principles and policies. They sign off on those high-risk use cases. They set the organization's overall risk appetite, how much risk are we willing to take? And crucially, they make sure everyone else is being held accountable. See, this is all about leadership, not about knowing how to code.
All right, next we have the Truth Keeper. This role is all about providing that independent assurance, making sure the organization stays safe, legal, and compliant. And this is so much more than just a box-ticking exercise. The Truth Keeper is really the organization's conscience, the one asking the tough questions before something goes wrong.
So they're the ones conducting risk assessments, validating that all the controls are actually working, and providing that vital, independent challenge. It's really important to get this right. They aren't there to be a roadblock to innovation. Nope. They're there to make sure innovation happens safely and responsibly.
Okay, moving on to the Architect. This is your technical owner. We're talking about the person or the team that gets their hands dirty, the ones actually building, integrating, or configuring the AI system.
Naturally, the responsibilities are deeply technical, things like ensuring data quality, implementing the right controls, and documenting the system properly. But, and this is a really crucial distinction, they are accountable for how the system works, not for the business decision to use it. That decision, that belongs to the navigator.
And last but not least, we have the orchestrator. If the other roles are the musicians, the orchestrator is the conductor. They're the connective tissue, making sure the entire AI lifecycle, from the first spark of an idea all the way to retirement, runs smoothly and efficiently.
What does that look like day to day? Well, the orchestrator is managing workflows, they're coordinating approvals between all the other roles, they're tracking all the documentation, and there's a lot of it, and they're facilitating reviews. They really are the essential link that makes this whole governance process actually work.
All right, so we've got our 4 roles. Now let's put it all together and see how they work as a complete system for accountability.
Let's make this real with a quick scenario. Imagine your shiny new AI hiring tool gets flagged for potential bias. Okay, now what? Who does what? Well, the navigator doesn't panic. They step in and decide the course of action based on the company's risk appetite.
The Truth Keeper then challenges the system, giving an independent assessment of the bias and the legal risks. The architect, they build. They dive into the code to engineer a fix. And the orchestrator coordinates the whole thing, making sure everyone's talking and the process is tracked. You see how that works? Decide, challenge, build, and coordinate. Everyone has a crystal clear lane.
And the result of all this clarity? It's huge. When everyone knows exactly what their job is, you get what every single leader is looking for: AI that is safe, predictable, and actually aligned with your business goals.
Now, to make this even more concrete and actionable, we can plug this into a classic management tool that you might already know, the RACI model.
And just look at how cleanly this maps out. The architect is responsible. They're the one doing the work. The navigator is accountable. The buck stops with them for the final outcome. The truth keeper has to be consulted for their expert input, and the orchestrator needs to be kept informed of the whole process. I mean, it doesn't get much clearer than that. So for any leader watching this, here's the bottom line. Putting a system like this in place delivers two absolutely essential things. You get clarity on who owns what, and that clarity gives you real confidence in your AI governance.
And that really brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. As your organization brings in more and more AI, just ask yourself this one question. Do you know with absolute 100% certainty who is accountable for what it does? If there's even a little bit of hesitation in your answer, well, now you know what you need to do next.